right, 7:08 on the East Coast. It's 6:08 here in Milwaukee. Now let's go to Peter Doocy. He has more from the White House after President Biden's rare Oval Office address last night. Peter, it was 6 minutes long at 8 p.m.
Yes, and late last night, around the time of that address, but also this morning, Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House remains closed to pedestrian traffic. It appears the Secret Service is trying to increase security here by controlling access to the area around campus as President Biden is asking people to cool it with some of the overheated political talk.
Let's remember, here in America, while unity is the most elusive of goals right now, nothing is more important for us now than standing together. We can do this. Let's never lose sight of who we are. Let's remember we are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together.
Tonight, President Biden is going to fly to the West Coast for political events in Las Vegas after a few days of a paused campaign. There is going to be an NBC interview, and then we are told, following the president's interview Monday evening, both the DNC and the campaign will continue drawing the contrast between our positive vision for the future and Trump and Republicans' backwards-looking agenda over the course of the week. Based on President Biden's own words last night, we would expect this restarted campaign to stop using words about Trump like threat and focus more on issues they think are winners for them, like abortion access, but we will see. And in addition to President Biden's rare phone call to Donald Trump, NBC is reporting an even rarer conversation following Melania Trump's emotional tribute to her husband, Dr. Jill Biden, reportedly phoned her. We have asked White House officials for some more details about that call. Back to you.
Yeah, Peter, I thought that letter, Melania Trump's letter, is one of the most moving things I've read.
Too.
And I thought when she said, you know, you think my husband's a political animal, but he's a father, and he's a grandfather, and he also said, my life and Barron's life especially would have been changed forever.
Said her family came to the brink of a devastating change.
Right. And Peter, just about 4 or 5 days ago, we were talking about how top Democrats behind the scenes were trying to replace Joe Biden as the standard bearer.
I forgot about that story.
Right. I was just reading this morning that it sounds like after the assassination attempt now, the Democrats are essentially standing down. They're going, okay, if we have to talk about unity, we better stand behind Joe Biden.
Well, at the moment, every elected Democrat, including the president, is calling for a pause, really, in some of the really sensational political talk. And if they are going to go forward replacing Joe Biden, that would require a lot of very overheated, sensational political maneuvering. And it just does not seem like anybody has the appetite to do that anymore. And so President Biden right now spent the weekend trying to be the president as opposed to a candidate. But starting tonight, he is going to go back to being a candidate. And it doesn't seem like there is going to be they have the wind is there's no wind behind the Democrats who are trying to remove him. And you notice, and it probably makes sense that this is the case, but the last 48 hours, all the paper statements from Democrats on the Hill who have been waiting to come out and say they think it's time for Joe to go, they all stopped. We haven't seen any since Trump was in Butler.
Well, right, fascinating time.
It's
Thanks,
the gravity
really
of the
thanks,
situation.
It really is.
But I know Corey. Thanks so much, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.